Hey Premiere editors! Today I'm going to show you how to create this replay effect using 3D Rotate, Motion Tween, and custom assets generated in Adobe Firefly. The first step is to create our replay overlays. I started by grabbing a still frame from a replay graphic video and brought it into Photoshop to isolate the frame and make the screen area transparent. From there, I opened Adobe Firefly and I used the Gemini 3.1 with Nano Banana 2 model, and I set the aspect ratio to 16:9 and the resolution to 4K. I used my Photoshop frame as a reference image and I prompted Firefly to create a high-resolution cinematic version of this replay screen with shiny metal. Use a navy blue, gold, and black color scheme. Make sure the video screen area is transparent. Even though I requested transparency, Firefly still generated a checkerboard pattern after a few attempts. That's completely fine. We can easily clean that up in Photoshop. Back in Photoshop, I removed the checkerboard pattern to create true transparency and saved the graphic as a PNG or a PSD file. I also created a second version without the replay text using the Remove tool. With both overlays ready, let's jump into Premiere and animate everything. Inside of Premiere, I have two 1080p clips stacked in the timeline. In a real replay scenario, you probably duplicate the same clip, but for this tutorial, I'm using two different clips so the effect is easier to see. The clip on V2 is the one we'll animate with the 3D rotate effect, so let's apply that effect. Start by changing these settings. Under Effect Timing, enable Duration, switch the units to frames, and set Duration to 20. Under Control, set Type to Overshoot, Frequency to 4, Amplitude to 100, Decay to 80, and Anticipate to 25. Next, under the motion controls, set Mode to Destination, Axis to 90 degrees, and Initial Rotation to 0. With your playhead at the start of the sequence, move the playhead 24 frames forward and add keyframes for target rotation at 0, scale at 100, and anchor at 960 and 540. Let's move to the 1 second 14 frame mark and change target rotation to 30, scale to 50, and anchor to 212 and 132. Jump to the 2 second 10 frame mark and add another set of keyframes for scale and anchor using those same values. Move 2 frames forward and add a keyframe for target rotation at its current value. Finally, move to the 3 second 2 frame mark. Hold Alt on Windows or Option on Mac and drag the scale and anchor keyframes from the 24 frame mark to this position. Move ahead 2 frames and duplicate the target rotation keyframe the same way. With those keyframes in place, our animation is complete. Enable Motion Blur and increase it to 100. If you preview it now, the clip swings into the upper left-hand corner with a 30-degree Y-axis rotation. Next, let's scale the clip on V1 down to 25% and position it in the lower right-hand corner. With everything set, we can now start building the replay graphic around it. For my background, I use the Light Streams plugin from FX Factory Pro on a transparent video layer. You don't have to use this plugin. You can just as easily use an Adobe stock clip, footage from another royalty-free source, or even generate a background directly in Firefly using prompts and reference images. I'll move my video clips up a track and place the background on V1. Now, let's add the overlays. Move the rotating clip to V5 and place the replay overlay with text on V3. Scale and position it to fit your composition. My settings for scale are 20.7 and position at 1357.5 and 766.5. Place the second replay overlay on V6 and scale it to about 35.8%. Then right-click the rotating clip on V5 and choose Copy. Right-click the replay overlay and choose Paste Attributes. In the dialog box, disable everything except 3D Rotate so both graphics share the same animation. Next, we'll use the Motion Tween transition to animate the replay graphic on and off screen. With your playhead at the start of the sequence, move your playhead 13 frames forward and add an edit on the overlay. Then, Move your playhead to the 3-second 13 frame mark and add another edit on the overlay. Go to the Effects panel and search for Motion Tween and apply it to one of your edit points. Set the duration to 12 frames. Set Type to Bezier, adjust Ease In and Ease Out to 40, enable Motion Blur, set Motion Blur to 100, and increase samples to 128. Copy and paste the Motion Tween transition to the other section. Finally, select the first and last section of the replay overlay and reduce your scale to 60.8. This creates the effect of the replay graphics sliding in before the 3D rotation begins and sliding out afterwards. To finish everything off, let's add a logo. I generated several logos in Firefly for a boards campaign along with one just for fun. Pick whichever one you like and place it on V3 and position it in the lower left-hand corner beneath the replay screen. One final touch I like adding is the light sweep transition. At the point where both replay screens are visible, which is around the 1 second 16 frame mark, add an edit and apply the light sweep transition. Let's set the duration to about 1 second 15 frames and then adjust intensity to 36, edge to 100, relief mode to edge relief, emboss to 100, enable invert emboss, and customize the color to your liking with colorize set to 100. All that's left to do is add your favorite sound effects and you'll end up with this result. This was a fun effect to revisit because it combines newer Premiere effects with custom assets generated in Adobe Firefly to recreate a classic sports replay look. I hope you picked up a few new techniques you can use in your own projects. Thanks for watching and happy editing.